welcome to the show that puts Spartan news in focus. This is Focal Point. Tonight on Focal Point, we'll show you how new bills might change the way students register to vote.
I'm Yan Jiewang. I will tell you how this green bin can encourage you to recycle more in your life. Coming up next on Focal Point.
I'm Victoria Marzek, and I'll show you how MSU engineers are showcasing their talents. Coming up next on Focal Point.
Focal Point starts now.
I'm Kayla Roney.
And I'm Jill Silverstein. Welcome to Focal Point. First up tonight, students could see their interest rates jump from 3.4 to 6.8% on their federally subsidized student loans, unless Congress votes to extend low interest rates.
That's right. Even though most of Capitol Hill agrees they should extend lower interest rates for students, parties cannot agree on how to pay for the extension. The Senate will likely vote on the bill once it returns from Congress on May 8th. If a consensus is not reached, the higher interest rate will take effect on July 1st.
We've got to make college more affordable for more young people. We only finished paying off our student loans about 8 years ago. Think about that. I'm the President of the United States. It was only about 8 years ago that we finished paying off our student loans.
Speaking of voting, a group of recently proposed election law changes could affect voters from their registration to the moment they step in the voting booth. Focal Point's Anthony Sabella has the story.
Every 4 years, a new batch of voters experience their first presidential election, and MSU freshman Darren Embry is no different. Are you planning on voting this next coming election?
I am.
Some students prefer to register to vote in their hometown.
Back in my hometown of Spring Arbor, I just went to the city-town office and filled out some information, and they sent me a registration in the mail about 2 weeks later.
In many cases, students are registered through a third party, like election campaigns or groups looking to increase voter turnout. But a group of bills recently introduced in the Michigan legislature is looking to change voting laws by requiring a picture ID when registering and before voting.
In Michigan, it's really easy to register to vote. You know, when you go get your driver's license, you can register right at the Secretary of State, and it's quite simple. But if you're not registered and you want to register, certainly you should be required to show a picture ID.
This change would make it more difficult for a third party to register someone on the street. Detractors of the bill believe this could lead to a low voter turnout, but supporters believe registering with a photo ID as well as having an ID present while voting could help fight voter fraud.
They come up and say, my name is John Smith and I live in, and next thing you know, they're voting. I think we need to safeguard our elections and make sure people are who they say they are before they vote.
The bills are currently in the House of Representatives and if passed would go through in time for this year's election. For Focal Point, I'm Anthony Sabella.
Along with states like Florida, Alabama, and Hawaii, Michigan is considered to have less stringent voter ID laws compared to other states. Westboro Baptist Church traveled to East Lansing for the second time in 2 years. Here's one student whose goal was to keep the peace on MSU's campus. When the Westboro Baptist Church announced last month that East Lansing had been added to its protest schedule, MSU freshman Sasha Kemi knew he had to act.
I wanted to bring people together to make sure that nobody got hurt, that nobody felt like they had to lash out, that nobody was caught unawares.
The church has been controversial for the past decade due to its extreme anti-gay positions. The fact that they're allowed to protest, though, is something Kemi says is important.
I think it's really great that America can have a First Amendment that not only protects the hate speech of Westboro, but also the radical love and acceptance of here.
A Westboro spokesman told me that it's not that the church believes homosexual people are going to hell because they're homosexual, but instead because they fail to repent for that homosexuality.
I disagree with this message. They have a First Amendment right to express their religious beliefs, free speech. I have a right to tell bigots what I think, and I think that they are wrong.
Kemi says that if the church returns to MSU, he'll be happy to organize another peaceful protest so that targeted groups can know they're not alone.
And that's what this is all about. Love always wins at MSU.
Prior to its stop at MSU, the church held a protest outside Lansing Eastern High School and was met with more than 280 people who formed a wall of love between them and the students arriving for class.
The East Lansing community had a chance to talk to new city manager George Lahanis on Thursday evening at the Orchard Lane Pump House.
I'll do my best to answer them if I don't answer.
In January, the new city manager presented the city's budget and its plan to cut costs and increase funds. The Q&A session focused on Michigan State University and its effect on local neighborhoods, specifically on occasions like St. Patrick's Day. Residents worry about the noise and conduct of the student population and what the city is doing to prevent future situations from getting out of hand. Other topics included reduction in city staff, new mills, and a shift in city fire station operating procedure.
Coming up, we'll take a look at how seniors are preparing for graduation.
And later, we'll show you how Lansing is improving its recycling techniques.
They've been called leaders, lifesavers, and world changers. They're also called Spartans.
Welcome back. Engineering students show off a semester's worth of work.
And seniors finish their time in style. Victoria Marzek has these stories and more this week on campus. Victoria?
Thanks, Kayla. With the end of the semester, and for many, the end of their graduate degree programs, MSU engineering students displayed their talents at this year's Design Day. Brittany Hetherington is an eager engineering student.
I have my first design class next year, so we wanted to kind of see what was going on, so we weren't as nervous for next year.
Brittany, along with proud parents, professors, and excited students, attended this year's Design Day to see what engineering students designed and built for capstone classes and final projects.
It's a lot less intimidating. It looks like a lot of fun. A lot of the projects are really cool.
About 2,000 students demonstrated more than 150 different projects from all 8 departments in the College of Engineering. Some projects were sweet, while others were more serious. This chair was developed for students at Hartwood School so that they could be more physically engaged in daily activities.
A lot of work went into this, more than you would think.
Mechanical engineering senior Jared St. Alban worked with 4 other students to design the self-contained chair for the school that serves children with mental and physical disabilities.
This cart, when it moves back and forth, when someone pushes it, the arms don't move. When you move the arms back, it doesn't move. Only when you move the arms forward does it propel it.
Design Day director Maureen Blazer Adams says that the program provides students with real-life experience by solving problems for corporate sponsors in 15 weeks.
Some goes right into production, some is used for prototype builds and to be used in future.
Students leave Design Day with not just pride and prizes, but also the hope for potential job offers. With Design Day over, engineering students might be finished with their capstone projects, but they still have finals to prepare for, along with all other MSU students. Focal Point's Lucy Guo shows us how students are studying on campus.
Reality and peaceful coexistence for ourselves. I have 2 essays due on Tuesday and Wednesday. I have 1 final on Thursday, and I have a test on Friday as well. I haven't done any of them yet.
Matt Risk is a sophomore majoring in comparative cultures and politics, who is now helping his friend finish one of his final projects.
It's the weekend almost, so we want to get a little done so we can have one last weekend before we leave.
But for Hong Xiao, a Chinese student majoring in public relations, the coming weekend will be busy and lonely.
It's the final week, so I think I will spend the whole day in home and read a book. I love to study alone, not with other people, because if I study with my friends, maybe I think it's very easy to distract from study.
Hong Xiao also likes to go through her textbooks.
When I go through the book, I really like to take some notes.
But for Ahmed, friends and laptops are both necessary.
I use my laptop, I use friends.
Grades aren't his biggest concern. It's more what you've learned.
To me, it's more important that I came out of the class feeling that I grew intellectually than try and get a good grade.
Edham knows he should be starting this weekend, but if it actually gets done.
I don't know, we'll see. We have no clue. Not studying.
Students have 1 more week before the freedom of summer break. We wish all students good luck on their finals. With the unemployment rate at 8.2%, many graduating seniors are nervous as they approach the job market. Focal Point's Jill Silverstein went to find out what students are doing to de-stress during senior week.
Rolling, autographing the rock, pounding, or jumping. University Activities Board Chairperson Megan Murray says the carnival is a great way to relax before graduation.
It's definitely the calm before the storm. You know, a lot of seniors are getting ready to enter the work world. I start my job with Nestle in August.
It is still an emotional time even for graduating senior Robbie Ginsburg, who has a job locked down.
You know, the real world is just a week away, and it's really scary.
Some students are prolonging entering the real world.
I'm going to take a year off and look for graduate schools.
Some students are literally upside down, thinking about what they're going to do after graduation.
You've been hearing things about the job market, but
not really any concrete plans after this.
Till then, I'm going to keep looking. My biggest fear of graduating is not being able to find a job.
Aside from the carnival, the week offered a lot of other activities.
1, 2, 3.
Such as taking pictures at the Spartan statue with Sparty and touring the Beaumont Tower. But reality is starting to hit.
I just get kind of sad and I don't really know what to think of it.
With graduation only 6 days away, those that have yet to lock down a job might want to get the ball rolling, like me. For Focal Point, this is Jill Silverstein.
The commencement ceremony will take place all next weekend, beginning at the Breslin Center. International students at MSU are being asked to sign a petition asking the Obama administration to make changes to current visa laws. The changes would allow international students majoring in math and science to stay in the U.S. after graduation. The creator of the petition believes the change would help make the U.S. highly competitive in the field of technology innovation. ASMSU is extending its readership program into the summer semester. The program currently provides copies of the State News, USA Today, the New York Times, and the Detroit Free Press to students during the school year. For the first time, all these papers will continue to be available at residence halls and major academic buildings during the summer. The change comes from an increase in demand from students. Under the extended program, professors will be able to use these newspapers in the classroom. That's all for On Campus. I'm Victoria Marzak. Jill?
Thanks, Victoria. MSU is gearing up to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Morrill Act. The 1862 legislation passed by President Abraham Lincoln made higher education available for Americans across the country. The legislation provided funding for land-grant colleges in every state. MSU is the nation's pioneer land-grant university and the model for the entire land-grant system. The city of Lansing has a new, more efficient way to recycle.
Yensia Wong has this story and more in health and environment this week. Yensia?
Thanks, Kayla. Is recycling more of a hassle than it's worth? A new program in Lansing is making it easier for residents to help the environment and is hoping to encourage people to recycle. Recycling sometimes takes effort.
Oh, the glass is back here.
For everyone.
I have this bag, and then I have a Tupperware bin, and we put all of our metal in our jars.
It takes a lot of labor to sort out all of the materials.
Traditionally, homeowners need to sort out the items by metals, glass, or newspapers. But now, different materials such as paper and plastic can go to the same bin under the new Lansing's recycling program.
We're able to collect more commodities as far as our single stream recycling. The homeowner can simply take paper, plastic, small appliances, dump them all into the container.
Mr. Chet Gamble, the Director of Public Service of Lansing, said this new program could also make the recycling operation more cost-effective.
We are also able to collect the material a lot faster, as opposed to picking up the bin and throwing each individual container. We're not able to just quickly dump it. So that lessens our labor costs.
All mixed materials will be collected and sent to Ann Arbor, where a new material recycling facility will sort out the materials.
An assembly line, blowers, and different separation methods actually separates that material efficiently.
While the new process will ease the recycling work for the city of Lansing, many people think it will also encourage more residents to recycle.
The homeowner doesn't like to want to have to think. They don't want to have 6 different bins in their house to where they have to sort it.
I think it will get some other people that don't normally recycle because of the time.
Gamble hopes the new program will make the city and the residents double winners. The single-stream recycling is still being tested. Those studying abroad may want to be more careful. A new study finds that the deadliest malaria parasite has shown resistance to medication. Researchers say the resistance may be caused by mutation, which raises risk of infection. According to the World Health Organization, 655,000 people died from disease last year, making it the fifth deadliest disease in low-income countries. That's all for health and environment. I'm Yanjie Wang. Back to you.
Thanks, Yancia. The MSU football team did more than prepare for the spring game this week. We'll tell you what they did with some of their spare time.
And later, we'll take a look at what's coming to the Wharton Center.
They've been called leaders, lifesavers, and world changers. They're also called Spartans.
Welcome back. I'm Amber Johnson-Weeks with this week's Sports Report. 2 Spartan women's basketball players signed WNBA training camp contracts this week. Forward LaKenda Johnson signed with the Skies in her hometown of Chicago, and guard Portia Poole signed with the reigning WNBA champions, the Minnesota Lynx. Their time at the training camps will serve as tryouts, and the players hope to play well enough to earn regular season contracts. MSU football players are undergoing an annual spring tradition, mandatory under Coach D'Antonio. After choosing teams for the green and white game, players of all positions were asked to donate their time to do some community service. Players visited Sparrow Hospital, Volunteers of America, Ronald McDonald House, Bircham Hill Retirement Center, and the Capital Area Humane Society. Each year, players find the experience enjoyable and eye-opening. It's a way to give back to their fans and the community. MSU women's tennis team will open the Big Ten tournament on Wednesday in Columbus, Ohio. The 12th-seeded Spartans will take the 5th-seeded Boilers of Purdue. The teams met earlier this season in West Lafayette, Indiana, with the Boilermakers coming out on top 6-1. Michigan State finished with 8-4 overall record and 0-11 in the conference, with only 1 win since February. The Arkansas Razorbacks have turned to a former green and white coach to work as an interim head coach. John L. Smith has agreed to a 10-month contract worth $850,000 a year. The former Spartan coach replaces Bobby Petrino, who was fired in April. Smith has a career record as 132-86. In 2003, he was named Big Ten Coach of the Year after posting most wins by a first-year head coach at MSU in their history. That's all for sports, and I'm Amber Johnson-Weeks. Back to you, Jill.
Thanks, Amber. A former MSU and NFL player is helping out in the Lansing community. Amber Johnson-Weeks has more.
The whole feeding the children thing that was going on?
Many kids grow up wanting to be a professional athlete.
I was in an athletic family.
But for Todd T.J. Duckett, his dream became a reality when he not only played for MSU's football team, but went on to be an NFL running back.
It's an unbelievable opportunity that I was able to reach a goal.
But in 2009, T.J. credits Seattle Seahawks coach Jim Moore Jr. for changing his life in an unexpected way that he now appreciates.
She was my head football coach in Atlanta and then the head football coach in Seattle, and he cut me both times.
TJ said that experience with his coach caused him to question his life.
That's the only guy in my life at the peak of a dream has made me reset my thoughts and made me question who I am.
So TJ went from being tackled on the field to tackling a different issue in the Lansing community.
The majority of my women in my family, mother, grandmother, aunts, have all died from cancer.
This inspired him to get further involved in charity work, like Battlefield Brawl that he started with Justin Kane, a cancer survivor.
There are 12 teams, and each team submits their money to get in. And then on top of that, they raise money. And depending on how much money they raise, they get put in a level of amount to put them in a draft. And then they draft celebrities.
Donations will go towards the Odin Project, a nonprofit that was started in honor of TJ's mother, Jacqueline Barham, who lost her battle with cancer in 2000.
It's an organization that if any of my people who passed from cancer, if any of them were around, I would urge, if not force them to take this opportunity.
TJ continues to make touchdowns in the lives of many people and enjoys raising his dogs that he calls his kids. For Focal Point, I'm Amber Johnson-Weeks.
The Wharton Center celebrates its 30th anniversary with a brand new lineup.
And a campus favorite also celebrates a birthday. Lucy Guo has more in this week's entertainment. Lucy?
Move over Chicago. The Taste of East Lansing came to the corner of Albert and Ann Street last weekend. Besides eating some great food, those who came also raised money for a good cause. What does food mean to you?
I think people love the food.
This was amazing. I'm not really done with it yet. Really done?
It's a student intern from MSU. Ruan Warden is the person who came up with the idea of Taste of East Lansing.
Tent here, this is the main attraction. So as you can see, there are a ton of people and they're all enjoying the food. We have 9 restaurants here that are selling samples.
In the first Taste of East Lansing event, there is a lot of food, but the event is not just about food.
A really cool event. It really got the community coming out in a really fun way. At the silent auction over here, we got some really cool prizes. We've got a basketball signed by Coach Izzo, a football signed by Coach D'Antonio.
After spending only $1 to get a ticket like this, you will be able to not only enjoy the food, but also helps the community.
If you give back to the community gives back to you.
The event raised nearly $2,100. Part of the money will be used to support Lottery Club of East Lansing's Park Reimage project.
15 years ago, and then now the playground needs to be replaced.
I love Patriarch Park. I actually go there and work out with my boyfriend.
If we raise all the funds in 2012, the idea is to do the construction probably in the summer or the fall of 2013.
The event was a big success. People not only enjoy the food, but the fact they are helping the community.
Sometimes you can be surprised to what your own city has, you know.
The Community Relations Coalition will work with incoming students at AOP this summer to help freshmen learn the East Lansing area. The Wharton Center for Performing Arts has released its performance schedule for the 2012 to 2013 season. Wharton will celebrate its 30th anniversary this year with a number of blockbuster favorites. Some of the highlights including Bill Elliott, War Horse, Blue Man Group, and American Idiot. A local watering hole is grilling up to celebrate deep fire treats, craft beers, and karaoke. Focal Point's Emmanuel Berry takes us inside the ongoing celebration leading up to Creature's 30 years.
A Thursday night at Crunchies may seem like any night at a typical college bar.
There's some wannabes, but they're not close. It's just different here.
This year, Crunchies is celebrating 30 years in the business. Although the official birthday is in the fall, Crunchies is starting to celebrate early with monthly giveaways. Purchased by Paul Gadarolo in 1982, Crunchies transformed from an Italian restaurant into a hockey bar. Known for having the best burgers in town, along with a wide selection of locally brewed beers.
We've always been like a place where we just want people to come together, talk, hang out, and really enjoy hanging out together, and the best way to do it is over a nice beer.
And what better way to share a good brew than with one of Crunchies' 270-ounce buckets.
And it's a good way for people like who are going through school together to come and have a beer and go, oh, this is our bucket, you know, like so-and-so signed it. If people graduate, you can see their name.
But it's not just about the beer and food Crunchies offers. Starting on Thursday night, karaoke draws in people like Dennis.
Looking for a place at karaoke where there was enthusiasm, where the crowd was enthusiastic.
We have names on the walls. We have messages to friends, basically to say, you know what, I was here, we hung out, we had a great time, and can't wait to do it again.
For Focal Point, I'm Emmanuel Berry.
Hey, watch out! Thank you.
In addition to monthly giveaways of $100 gift cards, Cultures is working to develop their own beer in celebration for their 30s. That's all for entertainment. I'm Lucy Guo. Back to you.
Thanks, Lucy. A man in Florida is facing felony charges after refusing to pay for a fountain pop at a McDonald's. He originally asked for a water cup but then filled it with soda instead. After ignoring an employee's warnings to dump it out and swearing at the manager, police were notified. Instead of paying $1 for the stolen soda, the man could now face up to 5 years in jail as well as a $5,000 fine.
That's our show for tonight. We leave you now with the Divine 9 Step Show.
Thanks for watching this semester. Join us again next fall for a new season of Focal Point. Good night.